insecurity. See what Niger State residents are doing to attain freedom. The incessant and unruly attitudes of the bandits in Niger State have kept the people in a poor economic state. Bandits' attacks in Niger State have increased recently, with several cases reported almost every day. Just a few days ago, the Niger State government said that Boko Haram has hoisted its flag in some parts of the state. The governor also confirmed that over 3,000 residents have been displaced in the afflicted areas. While he had alerted the federal government to the recent developments, the government has not taken any step to combat these terrorists. Furthermore, since the government has taken no action, the residents are forced to pay ransoms to free their relatives while also subjecting the women and children to severe horror. This was seen in the statement of a middle-aged woman who lives in an IDP camp in ß⁰Ķ⁰. She said, "They have finished me as I am now. I have sold all my farm produce. I have loans to pay because I had to borrow money to pay the ransom for my children abducted by the bandits. Now I have absolutely nothing left." She also recollected how two of her children were kidnapped by bandits and how she needed to raise money as ransom to redeem them. The government, however, may not be in support of the negotiations or pay ransom to evil perpetrators, but the ransom paid by the relatives of the abductees goes a long way in reinforcing the ammunition. The sole reason the government is fully against it. Does this mean government will remain inactive and watch the citizens of the state and across the federation butchered like animals or fend for themselves? This question is constant on the lips of some local government residents who wonder if government is aware of their situation or simply do not care. Now, this is very, very tough. But at this point, getting into the minds of, the people that are being attacked, I think there needs to be an understanding that the government is responsible for their security welfare. They are really responsible. And, of course, being neglected and being forced to pay ransoms is obviously not ideal. And at this point, when Nigerians are ready, they are ready. Because at the end of the day, if we're not ready to combat this issue, we're not going to be ready. And nothing will happen. So there has to be a shift in conversations. There has to be a shift in the way we view things, in our confidence and our willingness to go and fight. I think that at this point, things have not gotten that bad yet. I think at this point, Nigerians are not reacting because it's not as widespread and is affecting at least every single household. And I think that is something that we should never get to. And I think it's a lesson I hope that we could have learned from the NSAS protest, because again, we waited absolutely too late. We waited too late when people had already died. When the SARS unit, they're not even disbanded anyway. But even when the SARS, because we waited so long, the SARS unit got so confident because they do things in line of or with the intention of getting away with it, because they know that they can get away with it because they understand the environment that they're operating in. So again, I just think that we have to be ready, and at this point, you can't necessarily force a whole nation to be ready together. However, you can provoke, protests and all that. Again, I don't see why, there isn't a huge proper revolt, because at the end of the day, right now, if you're scared of death being the solution or being the end result, the likelihood of an average Nigerian dying has increased. The probability is way higher with lack of infrastructure. Probability of you having accidents, probability of you not even being treated properly without the right funds, the probability of your unsurvival and your danger has increased and is increasing every single day. And the more you wait, the more you keep quiet, the more you don't tackle these issues, the harder the fight is going to be, and the harsher it's going to be, because again, your silence emboldens your oppressors to think they can get away with it. And if you push, they can push more. You push, they will push even more. So I think our wait is too long, and it's emboldening these, government not to take action. Because that's it. There's no point rambling on about how ineffective the government is. We need to be talking about solutions, because that's just what it is. At this point, my prediction for 2023 is that the elections might not even happen. Why do I say so? Because Nigerians already have key people in mind that they're just we're removing your seat. And I think that Nigerians have now understood the essence and the importance of their votes, because again, if you put them there, it seems like as if the government now, it's like as if you don't have power. The only power you have is an election, which I find to be absolutely mind-boggling, because it's like, how can it be every 4 years the actual population, the majority in a country, has a vote? Because with the way the government works, you put someone in there and you now hope that they would, that they would stick to the intentions or the plans that even put them there in the first place. Again, I think the systems, or the lack of an accountability system and corruption, does not hold a lot of people accountable. Rather, the use of scapegoats by the government to sort of put themselves in the better places being used as much as possible, with harassment of people who are literally fighting for the rights of everyone. But yeah, I think we need to think of solutions. Again, we already know it's not news. The security situation is getting worse. Boko Haram is terrorizing everybody. It is not a thing for us to be like, oh wow, we know, we've been new. There's no point bashing the government. There is no point talking. We need action. And I think that we have to have provoking things as a society. We need to come together and decide, what do we want? Is it separation or one country? But I think before we can get there, before we can get to that conversation, the issue of security requires, absolutely demands, absolutely requests, absolutely states that it is a must that we have to tackle insecurity as one nation, because there is no point tackling insecurity as a divided unit. When insecurity is tackled, we can then talk about self-determination, or continual of Nigeria as a country. But yeah, these are the things we should be looking at. Let's see what the comments here say. Someone says, where's the governor through Mr. President has gone hibernated, but has the state governor also contracted the Buhari sickness? This will convince Nigerians that most of the elites in the north are terrorists, sympathizers. Well, you say the government is, in the article it says the government is definitely against paying ransoms, because it emboldens and it continues, and it just serves as ammunition to these oppressors and the perpetrators of these crimes. But however, they do the same thing at the top level. Look at what Shegumi is doing, granting them amnesty, negotiating. Because you paying a ransom is a sort of negotiation. Negotiation where both parties have power. You can shift it however you want, but it's more like a demand, would you say, when it comes to the people and these bandits. But yeah, it's absolutely sad. This is how the country is. So yeah, somebody also says in the comments that I pity the residents here. What are they going through? And we're looking like this. These things happen all the time. Unfortunately, Nigerians are due to circumstances, we're very closed off. We're very selfish, which is obviously as a result of a coping mechanism where we want to protect ourselves first. But we're a bit too closed off and to ourselves and minding our own business to a point where it is actually detrimental to us and the people in our environment. We need to speak up. We need to go. At the end of the day, you can't force a group of people. When they're ready, they're ready. But that doesn't mean we cannot provoke. At the end of the day, until Nigerians are ready to fight, they will be. However, because of the cycle and how it has been for so long, the mentality of just waiting and enduring unnecessary hardship does not make sense. Put what you think about it in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.